TV, Providence, New Bedford's home for memorable entertainment television. That's memorable. That's me.
TV.
The following programming is EI, educational and informative.
Today on Mystery Hunter, we take on some real X-Files.
Was it really just an airplane that crash-landed in a small Canadian town? Police called it a UFO. I go there to bust open an old, forgotten case.
I can only speak to what's in the report, and it doesn't say what the police were searching for.
What we have here is a genuine UFO incident.
And in northern England, a policeman didn't go searching for a UFO. It found him.
And here's a copy of the photograph.
I investigate the photo that shows he came face to face with a little green man.
Doubting Dave tells us how aliens could be using magnets to power their spaceships. And he's going to show you a cool way to use magnet power right here on Earth.
The needle will turn in the water, and you can do it too.
This is Mystery Hunters.
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
The Shag Harbor UFO.
These came for you.
More UFOs. Some kids have been sending me these drawings of what they say a UFO looked like. They crashed into the ocean near their home. They've asked me to go there to investigate. Hey, guys.
Hey, you're right.
So you guys sent me the postcard.
Yep.
Can you tell me about what happened here?
Well, a thing fell from the sky and hit the harbor.
They saw lights up in the sky, and then something splashed in the water, and then after that happened, there was yellow foam on top of the water where it splashed.
Yellow foam. Well, what do you think that was?
Well, if there was aliens in that shit, then I think it could have been their blood going to the surface.
What did people say it was?
A UFO.
A UFO. A UFO. Definitely a UFO.
So where'd you guys hear about this?
There was a newspaper article. It was written in 1967.
A newspaper article? Where could I find this newspaper?
In town somewhere.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye, Ryan.
Those kids were right. This newspaper report says something did land in Shag Harbor, and the police called it a UFO. Lori Wickens is the first person to report the incident to the police. Hi, Lori. Hi. I'm Ryan. Back in '67, Lori and his friends were driving into Shag Harbor when they saw some lights above them. They thought it was a plane that seemed to be following the car. The thing started to come down, and before they knew it, it was down in the water. They pulled over and called the police and reported a plane crash. When the police got there, they all watched it drift in the water for a while until the lights went out. Can you describe what the light looked like?
It looked like a half a globe, like a bowl or a half globe upside down. It was a yellowish, whitish color.
Can you take me to the place where the light went down?
Sure.
So where did it happen? Somewhere over there?
Yes, it happened roughly over there, yes.
Lori and his friends went out to search on the ocean. That night they saw the UFO go down, but they couldn't find anything. Except for strange foam floating on the water, right at the spot where they had last seen the light.
All we found is a bunch of yellowish, whitish foam, 4 or 5 inches thick, and we've never seen nothing like it before or since.
Lori Wickens is now convinced that the government knows what fell on Shag Harbor that night. They're not telling us. The police conducted a full investigation into the crash, and then the government got involved. They called in a team of Navy divers to search for wreckage. But after 2 days, the search was suddenly called off. The government said nothing was found in the harbor. But I found 2 researchers who say they have proof that the government is hiding something about the Shag Harbor incident.
You may have heard that in October 1967, a UFO crashed into the water of Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia. But I'll tell you that the government hasn't told you everything about this mysterious incident.
Did divers find something the government doesn't want people to know about? Could it have been a UFO?
This moor in England has been the setting of lots of creepy books and movies. But in 1987, something even creepier than any of those made-up stories might have happened right here. An off-duty policeman was out for a walk early one morning. He was taking pictures of the countryside when all of a sudden, he noticed some movement in the distance. The policeman went over to the spot to investigate, and what he saw was out of this world. He said he saw a small green creature right here on the moor. According to the policeman's description, the creature was about 4 feet tall with big pointy ears. He also said it had huge eyes, a small mouth, no nose, and gigantic hands with 3 big fingers that were like sausages. Did an alien really appear here on that day? I found someone who had the inside story. Peter, who is this policeman and why isn't he here to tell his own story?
Because he didn't want to get involved in publicising the story.
What was he doing up here?
Well, that morning, the 1st of December 1987, he set off at about 7:15 in the morning. He was prepared to take the picture of the moor when something else happened entirely.
What happened?
Well, a movement caught the corner of his eye, and he spun round, and he saw what he described, somewhat embarrassingly, as a small green creature. This immediately ran away into a deep hollow, stopped, turned round, and waved one arm dismissively at him as if to say, "Go away." He reacted by bringing up his camera and clicking the shutter, and then chasing the creature further into the hollow, where he was confronted with a saucer-shaped object, which immediately shot upwards and disappeared into the cloud. Well, he was shocked, obviously, and he took the film to be processed. And here's a copy of the photograph.
Oh my gosh. Does this photo prove that aliens really do visit Earth? I think I know how to find out.
We interrupt mystery hunters for this breaking news. A new region of alien activity has been discovered. More mysterious than Roswell, more dangerous than the Bermuda Triangle, the Heathrow Cloud. The cloud was first spotted by Adil Surti of Leicester, England. This was the email he sent to mystery hunters scientist Doubting Dave. Dear Doubting Dave, while I was driving home from Heathrow Airport in London, I looked up and saw an airplane fly into a cloud. But I never saw it come out. Could this have been an alien spaceship disappearing into thin air? We now go live to Doubting Dave at the Mystery Lab. Doubting?
Thank you, Jim. Adil, I don't think...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Doubting Dave, but we have Captain Ben Bishop on the line, a pilot who is about to fly into the cloud.
I just entered the cloud, Jim, and wait a minute, what's that? No, get away! It's coming right for me!
Goodness, something appears to have happened to Captain Bishop.
Jim, I don't think Captain Bishop is in any danger.
Wait a minute, I'm getting Captain Bishop back on the line. Go ahead, Captain. Was it a UFO?
I'm fine, Jim. There was a bee in the cockpit. We killed it with a barf bag.
Jim, to answer Adil's question, there is absolutely no proof that alien spaceships have ever visited Earth. So, Adil, what you saw was probably an airplane. And airplanes don't just disappear in clouds, but they do sometimes change direction in them. So if you were watching an airplane fly into a cloud, and you waited for it to come out in a certain spot, you might have missed it flying out from a completely different part of the cloud. Also, the cloud could have been much bigger than you think, Adil, so the plane might have stayed hidden in it for a long time. So, Adil...
Doubting Dave, I'm sorry to cut you off again. We've received some breaking news that a bird in Glasgow, Scotland just flew into a tree, but did not come out. The tree may be harboring a fleet of aliens that absorbed the bird, possibly for fuel. Doubting Dave, your thoughts?
I quit.
be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
On October 4th, 1967, people say they saw a flying object with bright lights disappear in Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia. The government sent in divers to look for pieces of whatever it was that might have crashed. These two men believe that the government is hiding something. Their names are Chris Stiles and Don Ledger. They wrote a book on the Shag Harbor incident, and they're ready to talk about it.
What we have here is a genuine UFO incident.
First of all, they found witnesses who say the divers did pull some twisted metal out of the water, and that the wreckage was sent off to a military installation.
We have no idea where that evidence would have ended up, where it might have got whisked away to.
And this document shows that the investigators had already decided that it wasn't an airplane or anything else that anyone had an explanation for. And there's more. This is a copy of the military orders to send out the underwater search team.
And on this microfilm, you have underlined 3 times UFO.
Is the government really hiding evidence of a crashed UFO? And could the police also be involved in the cover-up? This is an official police report from that night. It's an eyewitness statement documenting that a flying object with bright lights did land in Shag Harbor. The eyewitness is a police officer. And look at this. It's an X-file. Let's see if I can get the police to talk.
One day, a retired policeman named Philip Spencer was out walking on Iikely Moor when he saw something he couldn't believe. He thought he might be going crazy until he developed his roll of film. UFO investigator Peter Huff has studied the policeman's story. Do you believe his story?
I think 90% of the time, I do believe him.
Did you come across any other evidence?
Yes, we did. He noticed that the compass he'd been carrying with him at the time was behaving in a very strange way. It was pointing south instead of north.
It's weird. My compass points north, but the policeman's compass points south, the opposite direction. What could have made it do that? Doubting Dave, are you there?
Hi, Christina. What can I do for you?
I'm investigating a story about a policeman who says he was visited by an alien. The compass he had when he saw it is now switched to point south instead of north. Is there some type of alien technology that can do that?
Maybe if aliens were flying around on magnet power.
Magnet power?
Sure. A compass needle is attracted to magnets, and a really strong magnet could even reverse the poles on your compass. So when it points south, you're actually facing north, and vice versa. So, if there was a spaceship flying around the Earth on magnet power, and it came close to your compass, it would totally be strong enough to reverse its poles.
But could a spaceship be powered by magnets?
Well, it isn't as crazy as it sounds. We have ways of traveling on magnet power right here on Earth. There's a kind of train called a maglev, which is short for magnetically levitated, that runs on magnetic energy. And scientists are working on ways for us to fly using magnetic energy, too. Of course, we have no proof that there are alien spaceships out there.
What else could have changed the compass?
Well, Christina, all you need to change a compass is a powerful magnet. And it just so happens that one of the world's most powerful magnets can be found right inside your home computer. These miniature supermagnets are used to store information on the computer's hard drive.
So the policeman could have removed a super magnet from inside a computer and used it to change the compass?
You got it.
Dave? Oh, man. It looks like it would have been pretty easy for the policeman to change the compass himself. But then there's this photo of the creature. Could this be proof that an alien really did appear on the moor that day? Let's see what an expert in photo technology says. Can you tell me if this picture is faked or if it's real?
Guess where I just was? Well, this thing's dead. But I know a cool way to make a new one. And you can do it too. First, you need a magnet. You also need a sewing needle, a piece of wax paper, scissors, and a bowl of water. Also, make sure the magnet you're using has north and south poles. Magnetize the needle by rubbing one end of it 50 times with the north end of the magnet. This gives the needle some of its own magnetic power. But be careful not to prick yourself. Make sure you stroke the needle with the magnet in one direction only, from the middle to the end. And lift the magnet away from the needle each time you repeat the stroke. Now do the same thing to the other end of the needle with the south end of the magnet. Next, cut out a small circle of wax paper. Then, stick the needle through the circle like this. If you happen to know which way north is in your house, you can even make a little mark with a washable marker on the rim of your bowl. Then, line the bowl up so the mark is pointing north. Float the circle with the needle on top of it in the middle of your water bowl. Now, watch what happens. Slowly, the needle will turn in the water until it's pointing north and south. So why does it do this? Because the Earth is actually a giant magnet. And just like your needle, it has magnetic north and south poles. And the magnetic poles of the Earth attract the magnetic poles of your needle. In fact, many scientists believe that birds actually use the Earth's magnetic field to guide them on long-distance flights.
Not bad for something you use to stick notes on your fridge. Sorry.
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
A retired police officer took this picture that he says is of an alien. I'm trying to find out if it's real or a fake. Colin Harding is an expert in photographic technology. Can you tell me if this picture is faked or if it's real?
Well, it's certainly a real photograph, but is it a photograph of something that's real? As long as the camera has been around, there have been people who've been creating fake photographs, and there are a number of different techniques. This is a photograph of a wedding, and you see here there's a swan gliding gracefully across the wedding group.
First, they took the picture of the people, but then forgot to advance the film before they snapped the swan.
So what you have is the one photograph appearing on top of the other. Here we see another example with a ghost, and it looks as if you've created something which didn't in fact exist.
These fakes were both created by combining two photos into one. But Peter couldn't find any evidence that the Iikely Alien Photo was made that way.
The other way of doing it is by taking something which is real, taking, for example, a model, and then photographing it in location.
So do you think if I took a puppet of an alien, brought it to the scene, and took a picture, do you think I'd be able to create the same photo?
It'd certainly be worth a try.
So there's no signs that the policeman's photo was faked. But does the photo really prove an alien landed on the moor? I'm going back there to see if anything turns up on my camera. You can relax. This one's definitely not real. It's a model I had made to see if I can reproduce the policeman's photo. Colin could see from the negative of the policeman's photo that he had only taken one shot of the alien. So, I'm only going to take one shot too. My photo really does look like the one the policeman took. Maybe he faked his too. I can't say for sure what the policeman caught on film here, but one thing is for sure. If aliens wanted to visit a mysterious, creepy place, Iikely Moor would definitely be the place to land.
Is the government covering up the crash of an alien spacecraft in Shag Harbor, Nova Scotia?
Then it sort of stopped.
I found a police report documenting the incident. It's labeled X-File. Let's see if the police have anything to say about it. This report documents the sighting of an unidentified flying object by one of your officers.
Yes, I'm familiar with that case.
Were the police officially searching for a UFO in Shag Harbor?
I can only speak to what's in the report, and it doesn't say what the police were searching for.
Can you tell me if the search team found something in Shag Harbor?
As far as I'm aware, nothing was retrieved at the scene, and there's no reason for us to reopen the file.
Well, at least I tried. I just tried to interview the police in Shag Harbor, but I couldn't get much information from them.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. When this story came out 40 years ago, they initially were very cooperative, but within 2 or 3 days, they stopped talking to everybody altogether.
Ray McLeod was the journalist who covered the Shag Harbor crash story. So what do you think crashed into Shag Harbor?
I'd rather go with something I can explain, and that would be some sort of military device, an aircraft or something like that. This was during the Cold War, and there was a lot of secret stuff going on. It could have been a top-secret spy aircraft. It might have been little green men in a flying saucer, but we'll never know because no one has ever said anything, and that's why after 40 years it's still a mystery.
It's pretty hard to tell what crashed in the harbor without any physical evidence. But there is something that was clearly seen on the water that night. Bruce Johnson knows a lot about water chemistry.
We've been doing it for about...
He says the foam could be evidence of a plane crash.
Here we have an experiment set up here.
Okay.
A tank that has artificial or simulated seawater in it. And we've got a plane. Why don't we drop the plane in and see what happens?
Just drop it in?
Just drop it in.
All right. Wow. But my witness said that the foam he saw that night was 4 to 5 inches deep, as thick as shaving cream and yellow. Could a plane crash have caused that?
Maybe. Natural foams on the ocean can be yellow.
So what really happened in Shag Harbor that night? Did a secret military plane crash here, or was it a UFO? Unless the government decides to reopen the case, this X-file will remain unsolved, unsolved, unsolved. I think it's pretty cool that the government lists this case as an actual X-file.
Yeah, and it's weird that even the police report used the words unidentified flying object.
Unidentified flying object. That just means there was something in the air they couldn't identify. Could have been a bird, could have been a balloon. They just couldn't tell. It definitely doesn't mean it was a spaceship. For instance, whatever's hovering over the building right now, producing an intense tractor beam, is also technically a UFO. But until I'm getting probed by little green dudes on an alien spaceship, I won't make any assumptions. Whoa, now we're talking. Hey, guys. Well, aren't you cute?
Ouch! Hey, watch it with that thing, Shorty.
Raya, I think something weird happened to me when I was out on Iikely Moor. You see the beauty mark on my right shoulder? It's supposed to be on my left.
Yeah, and look at my notebook.
It's just like that policeman's compass. We're backwards.
Wait a minute. They have the picture reversed. Could you put it back, please? That's better.
Remember, things aren't always what they seem.